What's up, you guys? This is Devin with CFXTV Studios TV, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Tascam Dr-10L lavalier microphone system. Now, this system is very unique because this system actually records the audio from your lavalier microphone and stores it to a device, and that device has a micro SD card. Now, me personally, I hate micro SD cards with a passion. There's nothing that makes me feel more relevant or makes me feel like my job was more relevant to having it on that little small SD card, that micro SD card. You can snap it with your fingers, and it doesn't give me any confidence that my stuff is saved, let alone saved correctly, or if I drop it, it might break. I feel like it's going to break at any moment in time. I can snap it in my fingers if I wanted to. The Dr-10L system gathers the audio, puts it in the device, and then you have to sync it in post. Syncing can be a nightmare for people who do not know how to do it. You have to clap, make a slate. You have to do certain things to make sure you're able to find where these two audio files sync up. The one from your camera, the internal microphone, and also the internal microphone from your Tascam. Now, the Tascam Dr-10L does a decent job, but if you're in a very, very loud situation, and you go to automatically sync it in maybe Premiere Pro or Final Cut, if you're in a loud situation and you're struggling to hear your voice, the software is going to struggle to automatically sync it. So that means you have to find some kind of anchor point, like a clap, that has a spike in the audio to then sync it up with the audio from your camera. That's if your camera was actually recording well. Now, I'm not necessarily worried about the sound quality from the Tascam. You're going to get good sounding audio of yourself in reference to what's going on around you. Maybe you're out at a windy day. Maybe you're out and there's a lot of noise around you. The Tascam will do a decent job in separating you from whatever is going around you. But the issue is, if you're syncing it in post and you're relying on your camera to get the best audio signal so you can automatically sync it in post, or you can manually sync it in post, if your audio is so far away from each other, say for example you're 40, 50 feet, 100 feet away from the Tascam when whatever was happening, then the audio from your camera could be either drifted away or the signal just looks totally different from the Tascam. So you can't automatically sync it, and it's going to make it even more of a headache when you go to sync it in post manually, trying to find different things that happen to make sure that everything is in sync, especially if somebody's talking and moving their mouth. The last thing you want is somebody to say, oh, I'm out of sync. And that's not something they have to deal with on a daily basis, because utilizing a cell phone, everything's always synced up. Now, when it comes to the interface of the Tascam Dr-10L, it's a small interface, kind of hard to see, but it's heavily backlit and it has white buttons on a black screen. So it really, really works out well when you're going to look at it and you can actually see it. It's a small screen, but when you go to look at it, it's not necessarily hard to understand what it's talking about. It's kind of a quirky system of using the up and down arrows in the menu system, and then using the up and down record slider, and then the locking. It's kind of a fiddly system to understand how they did it, but once you understand how to start recording with the Tascam Dr-10L, then you're off to the races. It has one AAA battery, which is weird because most people don't really use AAA batteries much anymore. And then those AAA batteries, you gotta just buy it for this one device. Kind of weird, kind of annoying. I think it still uses micro USB. Kind of weird, kind of annoying. I wish it used USB-C, but I'm pretty sure if you buy the Tascam Dr-10L Pro with 32-bit float, that it does have USB-C. So I guess at the time that this microphone came out, that USB micro or whatever that is, it was the most popular one at the time. That's how you had to utilize it. The battery life is good on this thing. I've never had an issue with it. Sound quality is great on this thing. I've never had an issue with it. It's just utilizing the different workflow, ensuring that I speak loud enough to this camera all the way over here with the reference audio, so I have something to go back and sync it with, is the biggest issue. It's a mixed bag, but I love the sound quality, and for the price, you can't really complain. So if you needed to mic up multiple people, you could buy multiple of these things. A bride and a groom, and a best man. I don't know, will you be at a wedding and you're micing up people who are talking, or if you're making doing interviews during a wedding, you can plug up the lavalier to them, and since its battery life is so good, you don't have to necessarily worry about a lot of things. You can hook up to the computer, have it as an interface, I believe, But mainly you can actually take off stuff from the SD card, because I don't want to pull the SD card out of the Tascam DR10L if I don't have to. But there's a lot of different things about this Tascam DR10L that's great. I would not buy the Tascam DR10L Pro with the 32-bit float. And you might be saying, well, why wouldn't you do that? It has 32-bit float. Isn't that amazing? You can make sure that all your audio levels come in correctly. Well, first off, what is a lavalier microphone designed to do? It's designed to pick up a voice. And voices don't get too much louder and too much softer than you think they will. They all kind of range in the same volume threshold, or the same gain threshold, if you will. And since they all stand in the same gain threshold, I would not be utilizing 32-bit float for anything important on a lavalier microphone. And then you have to buy the Bluetooth module. Then I think they said you can use the Atom X, the Atom Blue from Atomos to sync time code to it. It's an extra hassle to have to buy that. I mean, they and Curtis Judd said something about the system did not actually come with the Bluetooth module built inside of it because they wanted to make a price point. This is probably the same Bluetooth module that's on the Tascam Portacapture X6. And if this is the same Bluetooth module that's on the Tascam Portacapture X6, I would want to be able to sync the Portacapture with the Tascam DR10L. I didn't see any cable that was really designed to take the microphone in directly, so what if I wanted to record wirelessly to my Tascam Portacapture X6 and just use the Bluetooth module to actually send time code via, but I guess Atomos has the simpler system, so Tascam paired with Atomos, and they didn't have the technology to actually utilize time code over to one of their wireless devices that's a field recorder. I don't know. I asked them about it, and they were saying that basically the Bluetooth module was only designed to mainly control things. It does have time code on it, but mainly to control things. That's why they utilize that Bluetooth module. You know, Zoom devices have Bluetooth modules as well, but if you start talking time code, a lot of people want to utilize time code, and buying two separate Bluetooth devices for both my Tascam DR10L Pro, if I had one, and my Tascam Portacapture X6 without having the ability to actually utilize time code through Bluetooth, it just seemed like a hassle to me. But nothing against Tascam. I'm not sponsored, but I'm also a fan of Tascam. I love the fact that they're making these cheaper devices. I have two of them, the Tascam DR10L and the Tascam Portacapture X6. And I love both of them. They work, they do their job, and they get me to the next gig. So what do you think in the comments below, guys? How do you feel about syncing in post? Is that something that you want to do to have a cheap, nice sounding microphone? Or you can't do that. You're going to the Sennheiser AVX system, or you don't need anything cheap. You can get the expensive, most expensive that you want to. Tell me how that is, because I'm not buying expensive microphones. Usually, I don't spend more than $300 for a microphone. Just let me know in the comments below, and stay tuned for the next video.